Have you ever wondered if your body remembers things that your mind has tried to forget? 10 years ago, the worst and the best thing happened to me in the same season. At the time, I thought I had moved on. But looking back, I wonder if my body was carrying more than I realized. And today, I want to share that story with you, what I learned, and what I'm learning about stress, healing, and hormones, and why our bodies tell a story we haven't fully listened to yet. Could your body be telling you something? So my sister, I want to share with you what happened to me 10 years ago and how what happened to me 10 years ago shaped and defined and made me who I am today. As I said earlier in the beginning of this, it was the worst and best thing that happened to me one season 10 years ago. And not that I'm ready to tell it, but since it's 10 years, it's been weighing heavy on me, and I feel like it's something I need to share. Maybe not all the details, but maybe through that, I can find true healing and peace within. Okay, so you're probably wondering what happened. Okay, so I'm going to just kind of get comfy here, grab your water, and maybe you care or not. You're like, who is this Stacy? So I'm here. I share women's health, how to care for the body, renew the mind, and strengthen the soul God's way, helping women understand what is happening to the body and that there's nothing wrong with them. They're not broken, they're not behind, but rather becoming the women God created them to be. So now we're just going to take a journey back, and maybe there is a story that you have that you've been holding on to, putting it out of mind, out of sight, right? Out of mind, out of sight, out of mind, however you say that. But our bodies can be holding on to it. You know, you probably heard that, like our bodies hold on to trauma. And if we don't heal that trauma, it will wiggle its ugly self out one way or another. And perhaps mostly in our midlife when we're going through these different changes in our season. And when we're confused and not understanding what's happening, a lot could be that we're holding on to this that could be affecting us. It could be affecting our nervous system. It could be affecting our stress, our cortisol. And when that is haywired or a wreck, it causes sleep disturbance, fatigue, right? Belly fat gain, or just harder to lose, more stress, and just not feeling yourself. So could it be that our past traumas be affecting, just one thing? Obviously, there's a lot of things that play into our hormones, the stress, the insulin sensitivity, the estrogen, the hormones, the fluctuating, the roller coaster ride that we're on, and all the different changes externally, besides what's happening to us internally, physically, the changes of aging, taking care of parents, or adult children leaving the nest, or maybe grandkids. Like we're in a new season, right? Trying to figure it all out. So, what happened? Where do I even start? Okay, so let's just start 10 years ago. Let's see, I was in a dance cabaret, and one night we were having a show, and there's a couple guys reaching out to me. I was single at the time. The year prior, I had left a toxic relationship. That's another story for another time. I mean, I got a lot, right? We all have stories. I have a lot. But I want to stay focused on point, on top to what happened 10 years ago this time. And so I had my dance, our show, and these two guys come. I'm like, oh my goodness, these guys both came. And they both wanted to hang out afterwards. I'm like, what? What's going on? What's going on? And at the time, I was kind of seeing some guy, and it probably was 6 months into this other guy in my life. And it wasn't anything serious. We weren't committed. It was kind of like, hey, what's going on? You want to come over kind of thing. So we'd hang out and that kind of stuff. And I remember being in the back room, in the dressing room. I'm peeking out. I'm like, oh my goodness, these two guys are here. Then the other guys text me, hey, come over tonight. I'm having a party. I'm like, and of course, I would drop anything for this one guy because I knew him longer. I liked him. We had the thing going. And of course, I'm telling my friends, and like, oh, she's Stacy, you play with fire, get burned by fire. Because I'm like, what do? I get these two guys out there, and this guy. So I had to like text each of them, like, oh, I'm not available. I have to run back. I have to run home. My kids or something, whatever excuse or lie he made up. So I remember after the show, I'm like, kind of went to one. Oh, hi. Wow. Thanks for coming. Oh, acting like they were just like people that came out to watch the show, like, oh, hi, cool, thank you so much for coming and stuff. Oh, thank you and stuff like that. Oh, I have to run out. I'm glad you came. I hope you enjoy the show. And kind of had to like leave. So I drive to this party and I get there and there's a few people there. He had a pool. There was a fire pit going on. There's people inside and outside. I'm like, okay, cool. He had music, set up. He was a DJ. And, yeah, so I'm like, okay, looking around, I'm like, hey, where's so-and-so? And everyone's like, I don't know, maybe he's in the house. So I go inside looking, cannot find him, like going upstairs, downstairs, down the hall. I'm like, where the heck is he? I'm like outside looking, like and asking the friends, like, where is he? Where did he go? And so I'm like, well, his door to his bedroom was closed. And I don't know. I was like, well, I don't know. Let me see if he's in the bedroom. He's nowhere to be found. So I opened the door and he was with somebody. And I closed the door and I was like, what? Like, wait, what? Wait, what? Have you ever been in a relationship and caught somebody with somebody else? It's not fun. Even though like we weren't like a thing, but we saw each other a lot. And I was just like, wait a minute. He just texted me half an hour ago and I said I was on my way. Like, I'm like, wait, what? And so like my heart was racing. I was so upset. I was about to leave. And then as I'm leaving, he had some friends outside, like, oh, where are you going? Did you find him? Like, yeah, I found him. He's in his room with somebody. And my heart's racing. And I could just hear these voices in my head, like, Stacy, leave, go. And they're like trying to convince me, oh, well, you're here. Just stay here anyways, have a drink. And I'm like, no, I should go. Oh, come on. And I'm like, I look at the table, there's alcohol. And I'm like, okay, fine. I grab like a shot of like Fireball. I don't know. Then I'm start dancing. Next thing you know it, maybe I'm glassing a drink of wine. I don't know. But next thing I know, I'm in a room. My eyes are closed. I couldn't move my body. And all I hear is this banging. And then either the door opens. I don't want to get too detailed. But either way, the door opens. And he comes in. I recognize the voice, so I know it was him. And he was like, get out of my house, blah, blah, blah. Get up, get out, you whore, blah, blah, blah. Like calling me names. I heard like these horrible things. And then, like I said, I was paralyzed. I could not move. Like my eyes, my body could not move, but I could hear. So I could hear the voices. I could hear the words. And the next thing I know, I think I was on the floor, trying to get up up a wall. I don't know. I feel like in my mind, like he threw me. I don't know. And I can remember next thing he's dragging me down the hallway and there's still people there. And he throws me on the couch and I'm still crying. Well, my eyes are still kind of closed and I'm just like trying to open my eyes. And I can remember I'm just crying. Tears, boogers. I'm just like crying and stuff. And he's trying to tell me. And I can hear his friend saying, yo, dude, like she can't drive. Leave her alone. And he's still like, whatever. And then I'm just start crying. And I finally talk and I'm like, well, you told me to come over. You told me to come here. And then you were with somebody else. And then all of a sudden he quiet down because he didn't realize I knew he was with somebody else. And I think it clicked for him, like he got caught out. And next thing I know, he just put me over his shoulders, brought me in his room. And then I don't know if I passed out again or what. And next thing I knew it, like I wake up, he's on top of me. And I remember just crying. I don't know how loud I was, but I remember him putting his hand over my mouth. Because there were still people, I guess, so people couldn't hear me. But I remember his putting his hand over my mouth. And then I must have passed back out. Then woke up in the morning. I think it was morning. It was daylight. And he was on top of me. Must have fell back asleep, passed out, whatever. And then I remember when I finally started coming out of it, he was just like laying there at the edge of the bed, just staring at me. And he started asking me questions like, do you know what happened last night? And I'm just like confused. I'm like, I don't know, maybe. I'm not sure. So it was really weird. Then he's like, he had to go to bring a friend home or something. I don't know. And I remember trying to move. I was like, I felt sore, but I didn't know. He leaves. I try to get up to go to the bathroom. And I see my face. I had like a black eye, black lip, and shoulder. So it was really weird. It was like right eye, left lip, left shoulder. So it was like, what? I don't know. It was like really weird. I'm like, what happened to me? I had like dirt or nails, something under my nails. I'm like, did I fall? I had heels on. I was on the deck. Like, I just didn't remember. I'm like, what happened to me? And I remember just falling on my knees, breaking down, crying. I couldn't remember. I'm like, what happened? Did I get in a fight? Did someone hurt me? Did I walk into the wall? Did I fall down the stairs? Like, I didn't know. And I had to muster the strength to get up and leave. And I left before he got back. And I remember driving home, pulling in the driveway, and just sitting there, just like, again, just pondering, what the heck happened? Whew. And I remember saying, I can't go inside the house looking like this. Like, do I go to the hospital? Long story short, I drove myself to the hospital. And then we're going up to the window, and I didn't know what to say. And I'm like, can I have a piece of paper? I don't know. If she gave it to me, maybe she saw my face or something. She's like, here's a piece of paper. I don't know. And I remember writing a word saying, I think blah, blah, blah happened to me. And she looked at me, and I know, and then they brought me in. Either way, checked me out. I remember them doing an x-ray, something for my shoulder. That came back. It wasn't broken. It was just sore. And then my face, my lip was whatever. And then giving me injections, some stuff to take, pills. I don't even know. And then they were going to do a test on me. And so I was there for a while. And then I remember either he texted me or something, I don't even know. So here I'm in the hospital and we're texting each other. And I was playing it off like, I don't even know what I said. I can't recall. And then I remember I didn't want to stay. I didn't want to do the test. Then I left. And then I think I stopped at the store. I don't know. I can't remember unless I had glasses on. I walked inside the house, went upstairs, and just cried. And then I had some shows. I don't know if it was the next day or maybe a couple days later. So I remember having to buy makeup. I bought, like, how do you cover up a black eye? So anyways, I played it off. I covered my eyes, whatever, this, that, glasses. And then, of course, I remember doing like a Snapchat video or something back in the day, 2016, right? Kind of joking around, like, oh yeah, it's a party, danced a little too much, fell down the stairs, like, ha ha ha. But I don't think anyone recognized or anything like that. I kind of played it off. And so that was like the worst thing. And then I definitely remember, I think it was the next day or so, I went on social media and I remember seeing his face. And my heart just sank. He looked like the devil in disguise. He just looked like evil. So I sensed something there. I was like, oh my goodness. It was horrible. I cried or whatever. And I remember like just talking to a relative about like not remembering things and stuff like that. Because I wanted to like tell someone, but I didn't want to tell anybody at the same time. But, like, it was killing me not knowing what happened to me. And I had to just cry, had to let it out and just kind of push through, right? So if you've ever dealt with a tragedy, maybe, you know, you felt the stress, the grief, the trauma, survival mode, having to push through, So I think that's what I did, right? There was the stress, there was the grieving of not knowing what happened. Definitely trauma. And, I went into survival mode. And then, of course, just pushing through, like I said, making light of it, covering up, acting like nothing happened, didn't want anybody to know. And I remember saying to myself, okay, I have to let this go, God. I can't let not knowing what happened to me eat me alive. Maybe it's best I don't know what happened. I can make all the assumptions I wanted to make. I had to give it over to God. I had to say, God, I surrender. I give it to you. And I'm sure I probably went to receive the sacraments of reconciliation, for healing. And then I moved on my life. That summer, I had some friends that were guys, but I was like, not interested in dating. If anybody got too close to me, I was like, hey, get away from me. Don't touch me. I was just on this journey of self-discovery, just finding who I was again, right? I had to I had to learn how to love myself in the midst of that evil. I had to find the beauty in darkness, in that hell. And then I remember a couple months later, I signed up for some online dating app. And my goal was not to find anybody to fall in love, just to date, just to see what kind of man I'm looking for, quality of a man, just to kind of get to know what am I looking for in a man. And the first man that kind of really reached out to me, because I had a bunch of people just text me oh, you're so beautiful. Whoa, I can't believe you're single. Until I figured out the algorithm, I'm just whatever. And this one person just had a paragraph. I'm oh, this is nice. Okay. We talked. Next day, I'm hey, we went on a date. It was a Wednesday. I'm how about tonight? I was it's a yes or no. Do we get along? Do we click? Like I said, I wasn't looking for love or anything like that. Just to get to know people, make friends. So I'm okay, I got to do something in my life here. And long story short, am I saying that right? Long story short, right? I probably said that a couple times. Maybe it was a couple weeks, maybe 4 to 6 weeks later. Not even, actually, a couple weeks later, I'm getting ahead. I remember having these feelings. He was going to come to, we were going on a date. Maybe it was our third or fourth, maybe fourth or fifth date. And I started getting these feelings why am I getting this feeling? Like I like him or something. And I remember I was going to ghost him. I'm why am I feeling like this? No, I don't want to feel like this. I'm not looking for love. I'm not looking, no. And I was going to text him saying cancel the date, blah, blah, blah. And then I heard this voice saying, Stacy, relax. It's just a date. He's not asking you to marry him. You get along, just go. Okay. So I took a deep breath and I felt better. Anxiety went away. Okay. Went on a date. Rest is history. He's my husband. So it'll be 10 years, the end of the summer, that we officially met. And so that's why the worst thing happened to me. And through that, I found love. But we'll get into another story, because was it really love or was it lust? Because being with someone and doing things out of marriage is lust. Even though we might say it's love, disguised as love. But that's another story. So that added to my journey in the past 10 years. So a lot has happened 10 years ago and everything in between. I could share with you so much. But my sisters, I just wanted to share with you that how that could affect our nervous system, chronic stress, our cortisol, our sleep, fatigue, and inflammation in our body, right? So I want to tie in the faith piece, because I can go on and on. I have so much to share. We all have a story. I mean, I'm 51. I got so much I can share, but again, just going back to that 10 years, I've never shared this publicly with anybody. And I'm going to even watch this back and see if I'm going to post this. And if you're watching this, yay, I had the courage to post it and share it. And if anybody that I love, family, friends watching this, I'm fine. I'm okay. I made peace. I let go. And I even forgave him. I forgave him. Because shortly after that happened, somehow we talked, and Well, actually, I showed up at his house because I needed answers. I needed closure. And at first, he didn't want to open his door, pretending he wasn't there. I'm like, I know you're there. Open the door. I didn't go in. Just we talked at the door and saying all these things. And of course, he's like, oh, people are saying you were drunk. You were throwing things, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay, you know what? I apologize. I'm sorry then. Even though I'm like, something happened to me. I don't know. Your friend, you, I don't know. Something happened. But okay, I'm sorry. I forgive you. And walked away. So I was the bigger person and apologized to him. Maybe he doesn't remember. Who knows? He was drunk. He doesn't remember either. I doubt that. But anyways, so I had to make peace. So the faith piece, my friend, is what has God shown me is that through tragedy, through pain and suffering, that we can come out the other side. We can find love. We can find healing. We can find closure. We can find peace and freedom through forgiveness, through surrender, through letting go and giving it all over to God and letting Him heal us. Because I can tell you, I couldn't do it on my own. I had to let go. I had to say, let go, let go, let God, let go, let go, God. God, take this from me, please. I can't ponder on what or what didn't happen. I have to give it to you, God. And maybe it's best I don't know. You know, but I don't know. Maybe for a reason. And what healing looked like? Healing was freeing. Healing was freeing. I found freedom and a peace and a comfort through Christ, His healing, through the sacraments, coming home to Him at that time. In that hell I was living in. And surrender looked like freedom. Not letting something tragic or trauma weigh me down. I wasn't going to give what happened that satisfaction of like sucking the life out of me. Because I looked at it, it happened, whether it was good or bad, evil, wicked, horrible. It happened and I'm still alive. I don't know what happened, but I have to let it go and trust in God. I'm still here. And I think so many of us hold on to the past. We live in the past. We can't let go. We can't forgive this person. We can't forgive that. We can't forgive ourselves. I had to forgive myself, right? Because I was blaming myself too for being there. I kept going to my sister, I shouldn't have showed up. Maybe, I remember saying, if I had left, because I did hear God or the angels, I remember going to church because I cleaned the church and there's a picture of St. Michael. And I remember being mad at him. I'm like, how could you not protect me? And it wasn't his fault because he did. God, the angels, my guardian angel was saying, go, leave. Stacy, leave. My God warned me. So for a while there, I was mad at myself that I didn't listen to God. Because I heard it. I heard it loud and clear. Stacy, leave right now. Go. Leave. And I said no. How many times in life have we heard that voice of God saying, leave, go, don't go? Whatever that voice is. And we just dismissed it. And we went on our own way, doing our own thing, our own way, and then suffering the consequence after. Yeah, raise your hand, right? That was me. Maybe you. But God is so merciful and forgiving. But we have to forgive ourselves. We have to forgive other people in our lives. We have to forgive the situation, the event, the circumstance, the thing that happened to us or to others in our life. Whatever it is you're holding on to. Because whatever you're still holding on to and not letting go, that can be a factor in why you're stressed. Your nervous system is override. Your cortisol level is high. Because our body, even though we could say we could forget about it, put it out of mind, out of sight, but our body does not forget. Our bodies remember every trauma unless we heal it, go back to it, and forgive ourselves, forgive the situation, forgive it, surrender over to God, because we can't do anything on our own. We cannot do anything on our own. Only with God can we do all things. Through God who strengthens me, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. So my sister, Psalms 34:18, The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Let me read that again, my sister. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. You are not alone. And you could also be saying, God, why did you let this happen to me? Why me? Because there's something to learn. Not saying that we have to go through some tragedy to learn. You know, we could say, okay, God, show me another way. Can I learn another way? But I've learned in my life, it's always through the pain. It's always through the tragedy. It's through the loss, the suffering, the desolation. Being lost in the desert is where I find true beauty and love for my God. Because think if nothing ever bad happened to us, do we need God? Okay, hi God, thanks, it's a nice day, woohoo. And it's just like, just putting it out there. It's not like deep. God wants us to have and cultivate a relationship with him. And so for me personally, I found through going through the pain, going through the hell, we all have to go through the purging, that out of that, I fell in love with God. I always I became closer to Christ through all my pain and suffering. I wasn't perfect. Maybe it takes a couple trials. Like I tell you, I still was far from God even after that happened. I would go to church and this and that. But then, like I said, I got into a relationship. Right? Living in sin. Doing things I shouldn't do. Not being married. And people could be like, well, you love each other. That's fine. I knew what was right, what was wrong on my journey in these past 10 years. So I'm going to leave it at that. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. Psalms 34:18. So my sister, that is what I have for you. Ooh, I'm trying not to cry. I can't believe I just shared that. I don't know how it came across. But like I said, I know I healed from it. But I've been wanting to share this. Like I said, I thought I was going to write it in a book, which I'm probably still going to write it in a book. At least now it might be a little easier because I put it out there publicly. Like I said, if I post this. So my sister, whatever you're going through, whatever happened to you, whether it was yesterday, last month, 2 months ago, 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, 5, 7, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, or when you were a child, something happened to you, you're still holding on to that. And you try to push through survival mode, right? Because that's what we do as women, right? When things happen, we still have to show up. We have to dry up the tears, show up, put on a smile, and act like nothing happened, right? And we have to pretend and wear this mask. Well, today is the day you're done pretending, my friend. Today's the day you're going to heal your past. Whatever trauma, whatever wounds, you're going to find healing through Christ, who is the only one who can heal, who is the greatest physician, divine healer. I am the Lord your healer, Exodus 15:25. Forgive yourself, forgive others, forgive God. Forgive whoever needs to be forgiven so you can feel free. Because once you forgive, forgiveness equals freedom. With that, you find healing, you find peace, you find joy again, you find comfort. Nothing's perfect, but when you have that, you get on that path back home to Christ. And you're not letting the past weigh you down. And you're probably going to feel so much lighter. Go back to confession. Go back to the sacraments. Receive the sacrament of reconciliation. Find healing in that. Talk to a priest. Talk to a spiritual director. Most importantly, talk to God. He wants to have a relationship with you. He wants to have a relationship with you. Oh, how beautiful is that? To my sisters, before I go any further, it's long. I'm sorry for hanging in there. Thank you so much. And if you like this, I have a lot more to share because there's been a lot more that I've been through. But I have to say, physically, that was probably the worst thing that I can recall that happened to me. And if I can do it, you can do it. Yes, because I'm not no stronger than you, but I am strong with Christ. Amen. So my sisters, until next week, God bless you. Go out in the world, share love, make peace, be happy, and glorify the Lord in your thoughts, words, and actions.